What is it about success that attracts haters? From pop icons to rock legends, it's almost as if achieving fame and fortune comes with a side of public scrutiny and disdain. Is there something inherently wrong with these artists that warrant the hate? Or is this more about us and the complexities of human nature? A hater is someone who uses negative and critical comments and behavior to bring another person down by making them look or feel bad. And almost always, the targets haters choose to go after have one trait in common. They're successful. CEOs, actors, TV personalities, politicians, and musicians, they all attract haters. And while a lot of these people do things that absolutely warrant criticism, it seems like the more beautiful they are, the more money they have, the more success they achieve, the more people feel empowered to criticize it. But why? The most simple and straightforward answer is jealousy. We all have an ego, and that ego controls our perceptions of others in relation to our own self-image. A hater's ego will never go, wow, I'm so glad this artist has made millions of dollars and is beloved by the masses. How cool is that? Instead, their ego will ask, how come this person has millions of dollars and I don't? It isn't fair. I'm going to resent this person because they have what I don't, and it makes me feel inferior. I can empathize with this because for most of my life, I was a contrarian. If an artist was too popular, I would automatically dislike them. And looking back, I can say that the dislike I expressed wasn't based on a legitimate analysis of the artist's work, but was rather a reflex made from a place of jealousy. Jealousy is the most obvious answer as to why success breeds haters. But is there more to it? 30 years ago, sharing harsh criticism had to be done in a social setting, which made people think twice about the words they used. But today, thanks to the advent of social media, we now have millions of posts to judge each day, a comment section to share criticism and hate, and the freedom to do so anonymously. I've seen comments that would peel paint off of a wall. They can be so harsh and so extreme that I genuinely wonder what's behind it. What type of person writes this? And what does someone gain from typing that? I think it's safe to say as a society, for the most part, we don't support haters. But there are instances where hating on an artist not only becomes socially acceptable, but it almost becomes expected. Nickelback is a prime example. They became the most hated band due to a joke from a Comedy Central skit.
Like Nickelback makes me want to kill Nickelback.
And from there, we all just accepted it. And it got to a point where if you admitted you liked them, people would make fun of you. Another great example is Justin Bieber. When he broke out in 2010, he quickly became one of the most hated artists on the planet. His Baby video with Ludacris is still one of the most disliked videos in the history of YouTube, and he quickly became a punchline.
I'm not f***ing Justin Bieber, you motherfuckers!
Justin Bieber nearly had to take a paternity test. What a waste of a test that would have been.
Seems like only yesterday you were discovered on YouTube. Time flies when you're a piece of shit.
And still, to this day, he literally tops the list of the most hated musicians in the world. But why? Yes, Bieber has done things that warrant criticism, but haven't we all? When I look back on my life and all the stupid things I've said and done, I cringe.
Yeah, is the light on? Sweet.
Lucky for me and 99% of the population, I'm not in the spotlight. Famous musicians, however, are in the spotlight 24/7, where any mistake, any slip-up is instantly reported on, and thus invites criticism from the viewing public. Are they any more irresponsible than the average person? Or are we just hyper-aware of their faux pas due to the constant media coverage? You turn on the TV, they're in the advertisements. You go to the grocery store, and their song is playing. You get on social media, and they dominate your feed. This relentless exposure definitely has the potential to create familiarity and success, but if you don't like the artist and you don't like their music, maybe dogging them is some sort of payback for the irritation that their constant presence gives you. Omnipresence is a very real thing, and out of every artist on the planet, I'd say Taylor Swift has been the most conspicuous over the past year. She is on top of the world, so much so that she was recently named Time's Person of the Year. And when my local news channels posted articles about it, there were countless comments about how they didn't care, that it wasn't news, and that they can't stand her. But most of these comments were from the older generation. Parents disliking the kids' music is nothing new, but is it actually because they don't like the music, or is it a little bit deeper than that? Music has always been an expression of culture, identity, and emotion, and it often serves as a soundtrack to our lives. Our identity, in part, is wrapped up in the music that shaped our coming-of-age experiences. The songs from our youth create powerful memories and connections, becoming a defining element of who we are. The bands I grew up listening to, Blink-182, Green Day, and Sum 41, were topping the charts during my adolescence. But over time that changed. I grew up and a new generation of music emerged, symbolizing a change in the culture. The music I cherish started to fade into the background, leaving me with a feeling of rejection and displacement. It made me feel old and out of touch, and I didn't like it. Not because the new music wasn't good, but because my identity was tied to the old music that suddenly wasn't cool anymore. Is it possible that older people don't like reading about younger artists because it reminds them that they're getting older? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. At the end of the day, you can only make some of the people happy some of the time. Aristotle once said, criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. And I think we can all agree that wouldn't be a life worth living. It's important to remember that no matter what you do, if you experience any level of success, some people will be jealous and you are going to attract haters. But if you're successful enough to have haters, that is almost certainly a sign that you're doing something right. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, and I'd love to hear yours. Leave me a comment letting me know your thoughts on this topic. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, and if you found this video interesting, you should definitely check out this video as well. And with that, this has been Songs by Spencer, signing out.